Hello there, and welcome to the Rhode Island Social Equity Data Platform. This video will walk through the features of the platform and how to use it. The first screen here is a legal disclaimer, which you can read through and then select I agree and hit OK. This brings you to the home screen. The banner here up top shows the title of the platform and the logos of the organizations that helped put it together. You can click on any of these logos and it will take you to the organization's website. The text box here in the middle provides some introductory information on the platform and how it was created, including some links to the original data sources that were used when compiling the indicators included in this platform. There's also a link here to the webpage where you can find technical, documentation, methodology, and a download for all of the data in this platform. And lastly here, there's a link to provide feedback or ask questions, which we will accept on a rolling basis, so please feel free to use it. Below the text box is another box, which lists the layers that you can look at in the map here to the right. The layers in this map include all of the indicators in this platform. So if you want, you could spend the whole time on this one map looking at the data that's included in all of these pages. However, each of these indicators has its own page where only that indicator is shown on its map, such as over here, along with more information about the data, including what it is, why it's important for social equity, some resources that you can connect to learn more, and detailed data source information. Okay, back to the home screen. I'm going to walk through how to use this map in a little bit of detail. It's largely the same as all of the other maps on the platform, so you can use this to explore all of those other maps as well. Right now, you can see by the checkboxes that a lot of layers are turned on this map. You can tell that by this blue box here with a white check mark in it to the left of the layer name. If I click that box, I can turn off the layer and the box will turn into an empty white box. The layer list also shows you the order that the layers are drawn on the map. So the very top layer that is listed is the layer that will show up on the very top layer of the map. So right now, if I turn that on, that's the Justice 40 indicator. That's the pink on the map. If I click it off, then the pink disappears and you can better see what's below it, which is the ETC disadvantaged communities shown in blue, and so on with all of these different layers. Any layers that are turned on will also show up here in the bottom right corner, which is the legend, and it will tell you what the name of the layer is and what the different symbols mean. So right now I just have RIDEM's EJ areas shown, which shows you that they're highlighted in this sort of lime green color. Some of the layers in this list have drop-down arrows to the left of them. Let's use this as an example, socioeconomic indicators. If I do a drop-down layer, you're going to be able to see more layers underneath that. And these ones are empty white boxes, so you can tell that none of them are currently showing up. I'm actually going to turn these two off just to illustrate this a little better. So here, if I wanted to see people with a disability, I would need to have this layer up here, this group layer that it's underneath, be checked on, and then I would check on people with a disability. So if you can't see this, people with a disability, it may be because this is not checked on anymore. So both of these need to be checked in order to see it. 3 layers show up on every single map on this platform. The Narragansett Indian Tribe Reservation, I'm going to turn this off for a second, highways, and municipalities. They are often listed on top of the indicator data, as shown here. It's higher up in the layer list. These layers are intended to help provide points of reference for you, so you can better see where things are on the map compared to places you may be familiar with, like municipalities or highways you might use. These can always be turned off if you prefer to have them not shown, but they don't take up too much of the space on the map since they're just small lines. Okay, so back to the indicator section on this platform. These are the 4 different groupings of indicators that are included in the whole platform: socioeconomic, environmental, health, and transportation. So if you click on these drop-down arrows, you can see all of the indicators within those categories. Now, another key way to get information about this data is to actually click on the map. So I'm going to turn on one of these layers, and you can actually click on a census tract here on the map, and it will show up as highlighted in this teal color. And then a pop-up will come up down here, which will give you information about this tract and the data that you have turned on. So I have turned on traffic proximity. And so here it's providing information about high volume road proximity for this census tract in this community. Now, the 3 dots here to the right of the layer name will give you some additional tools to look at the data as well. You can increase or decrease the transparency of the layer. So in this case, maybe I would want to overlay traffic proximity and diesel particulate matter, since those 2 things tend to be related. Now, when I turn on diesel particulate matter, you actually can't see it because traffic proximity is turned on and it's listed above diesel particulate matter in the layer list. But if I want to see some combination of these 2, I can actually increase the transparency of the top layer, maybe do that twice, and you can see now that the diesel particulate matter layer is sort of showing through underneath the traffic proximity by the increased opacity. So that helps you to identify places that maybe have both high traffic proximity and high diesel particulate matter. Okay, you can also, on this 3 dots, click on Details, which will take you to that layers information within ArcGIS Online. You can download the data there and read the metadata about this, which provides you more information on where the data came from and what it means. And the next tool here is Filter. So if you want to use a filter to see different aspects of this data, you can go into this box, first click on the filter, so the filter is turned on, and then add a clause. This box right here lists out all of the different layers that you can see within the layer list. So if I'm interested in this traffic proximity layer that I'm on, I can search for proximity and I see, oh, look, high volume road proximity percentile is right there. I would like to look at that one. Maybe I'm interested in identifying tracks where that road proximity is greater than, say, 80 percentile. So I'll type in 80, hit enter, and now it's going to show you just those census tracts where it's above 80%. Now I still have the transparency on, so I'm going to decrease the transparency to bring it back to that bright color. You can also use the filter to add a filter for municipality. If you're only interested in looking in one city, you can type in municipality here. You're looking for the municipality that is. You select here on the source type. You can choose unique to get a drop down of all the values that are listed in here. And you can click Charlestown, and it's going to only give you the census tract data for Charlestown. Okay. Now, you can always add additional clauses to this and stack different features together, whether and or. So this is a really powerful tool that you can use for a lot of things. And I'm not going to get into too much detail, but it's a pretty powerful tool to be able to use. Now, the last element in this dropdown here is statistics. So if you hit statistics, again, you want to select the field that you're actually interested in. I'm interested in proximity. And it's going to give you some basic statistics about this field. Now, keep in mind, if you have set a filter on your layer, then this is going to give you the statistics for only the fields that are shown in your filter. So we had filtered by municipality. So this is giving us the average percentile for high volume road proximity for the census tracts that are in Charlestown. So if you want to see that for all, then you would want to remove this filter or turn it off. And then you can run the statistics again in order to see the values for the state as a whole, which is around 50%. Okay, now that I've gone through the layer list, I am going to walk through just a couple other features on the map. In the top left, we've got plus and minus to zoom in. You can also use your scroll key here. There's a home button, which will bring you back to the default extent of the map. There's a locate button, which will allow you to go to your current location. I have turned off my location permission, so that's not going to work for me. But if you have that turned on, that will work. There's also a select tool, which you can choose the type of selection tool you want to use. Maybe it is a rectangle. and you can drag a rectangle onto the map to select the census tracts that touch that square. Then you can use this X to clear the selection. Over here in the top right corner, we have a magnifying glass, which allows you to type in an address in order to zoom to that point on the map. So if you're interested in how your home or work relates to this map, you can actually type it in. You do need to make sure you have the street address. So I'm going to do the street address of my work, and then also the city, Providence. Once I hit enter, it's going to zoom me into that location on the map, so I can see it in relation to the data there. Okay, next underneath that is the base map tool. So this tool allows you to select a different base map than the one we have here. So you could actually use satellite imagery or a much simpler light gray canvas, and there are many other options in here as well. Now, right below that, we have the printer button, which is going to allow you to export an image of the map that you have shown. You can choose the different template that you want to use and hit print, and it will export you a map with a few key map features that you could use in a project. Okay, the last tool here is to the left of the legend, and it allows you to add data to this map yourself. You can get data from ArcGIS Online or Living Atlas, from URL, or from your own files. Now, this data that you might upload will only show up for you during this browser session only. So it will be removed if you reload the page, close your session, and nobody else will be able to see it. But it allows you to load some of your own data you might be interested in to overlay that with the data that exists in this platform. It'll need to be a spatial data format with latitude and longitude, but can be in a few different format types like CSV and shapefiles. Another note to make on this is that you can actually add a lot of data from RIGIS. So if you click to add data and you search on ArcGIS Online, you're going to be able to find RIPTA bus routes. This is from URI EDC_RIGIS. So you can actually select this, and here I double selected it. And that adds it into the map just right there. And you have to take a couple more steps in order to actually have this work. So you want to actually click the Actions button and then Add to Map. And this is our home map, so I'm going to add it here to the home map. And now we've added all of the RIPTA bus routes here onto this map. On the very top of your layer list is where this shows up. So this data comes from rigis.org, and you can find a lot of different data there through that search function. And it's a really great tool to get to add more and get more out of this platform. Okay, so to remove it, I am going to go ahead and just click the trash button, and then I'm going to reload my page. Okay, so now that we've gone through everything on the homepage, I'm just going to show briefly what we have going on the left side and the rest of the web page. Like I said, this map has the most features of all the maps, and so now that you've learned how to use those features, you'll be able to do that on any of these other maps. So the indicators are grouped by categories, and the categories have their own page with maps that have only the indicators within that category. And once again, we've got this layer list with checkboxes that will allow you to see the top layer that is shown here, along with some of the other features that we just went over. Over here, we have the individual indicators have their own map. Some of these also have layers with extra layers that you can turn on, and they will include a description of the indicator as well as why it's important and more resources and data source information. So you can go into each of these indicator maps under each of these categories to learn more about all of these individual features. All right, that is our social equity data platform. We hope you learned something from exploring this data. Please don't hesitate to send questions or feedback in that comment form on the homepage, which I'll just highlight one more time right here. And feel free to reach out to the contact person on the webpage that's listed here as well. Thank you so much and have a great day.